Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
A former Sioux Falls police officer plans to plead guilty to attempted enticement of a minor using the internet. Court documents filed in the federal case against Luke Schauer says that in exchange for a guilty plea, 2 other charges against the former police officer will be dropped, including attempted production of child pornography.
Schauer is accused of sending explicit messages and pictures to an undercover agent posing as a 12-year-old girl earlier this year. Police officials say Schauer was terminated from the department as soon as they learned about the investigation. One man is behind bars as Sioux Falls police investigate the city's 3rd homicide of the year.
Monday night, authorities responded to an apartment on the north side of the city. That's where they found the body of 26-year-old Carstens Tyler lying face down with multiple gunshot wounds in his back. The shooter had taken off, but a witness on scene helped authorities identify him as 38-year-old Darian Johnson.
We received a lot of cooperation from folks on scene, both people that were involved and those on the periphery. So we appreciate that cooperation. That always helps us wrap these things up a lot quicker.
Johnson was arrested by the SWAT team early Tuesday morning, just a block away from the crime scene. We have an update on a death investigation in Arlington. We now know the name of the victim who was shot and killed Sunday morning. The victim was 23-year-old Remington Bickett of Arlington. The South Dakota DCI is leading an investigation.
In a news release, the Attorney General's office says DCI agents were called to the scene at 5:10 a.m. Sunday. Life-saving measures were attempted on Bickett, but he was pronounced dead while in an ambulance. The Kingsbury County Sheriff says there is absolutely no threat to the public.
An Oregon fugitive is behind bars in Sioux Falls this morning. Jeremy Morinville was wanted for shooting a man in the town of Seaside, which is on the coast in the northwest corner of the state.
Seaside police sent out these pictures last week, letting people know that the 24-year-old should be considered armed and dangerous. He was recently released from prison where he served time for cocaine and endangering another person.
This is what Morinville looked like when Minnehaha County authorities caught up with him Monday night. They'd received a tip that he would be in the northwest part of town, and that's where they found him and made an arrest. According to the sheriff's office, he'll make his first court appearance today.
The Highway Patrol is investigating a crash northwest of Sioux Falls. It happened just before 1 Tuesday afternoon. The Highway Patrol says one vehicle was headed north while 2 others were driving south when one tried to pass the other.
2 of the drivers went into the ditch to avoid a crash but ended up colliding in the ditch. Both drivers were taken to the hospital with serious, non-life-threatening injuries. Charges are pending against the driver who was attempting to pass.
Now let's get a check of our morning forecast with meteorologist Brian Carstens. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning. A hot day ahead for most of KELOLAND. Hot yesterday, too. We hit 100 degrees in Valentine, and we were up close to that mark also in Pine Ridge. And I think we'll be every bit of that again today. And in fact, Sioux Falls probably a little warmer than 88. That was the high yesterday. We're up to about 90. We're forecasting 92 in Mitchell, 97 in Chamberlain. There is relief coming on this heat wave. We'll talk about that in just a couple minutes.
Thank you, Brian. Over the Labor Day weekend in Huron, a police officer had more than a close call.
His police cruiser was heavily damaged when it was hit from behind. The driver wasn't paying attention and hit the patrol car. Luckily, the officer escaped injury.
The officer that was in the patrol car right before the crash happened saw the vehicle coming. It had not moved over for his amber yellow lights on top of the vehicle, and that officer actually exited the patrol car seconds before the crash happened.
Patrol Captain Mark Johnson says this is a good reminder to everyone to move over when you see amber or blue flashing lights, and if you can't move over, slow down to 20 miles an hour below the speed limit. Governor Kristi Noem is defending her use of the state airplane.
Her critics say she has misused the airplane to attend political rallies across the country and also to promote herself in case she decides to run for a higher office.
When you fly across the country, that's the insinuation.
I'm sure it is, but I also am going there to help other candidates get elected. I realize that right now, when I show up, people listen, and if I can tell a little bit of a different story and give an example of what we've done in South Dakota and it inspires them to do that in their state too, Plus, the whole time I'm there, I'm talking about our state.
We haven't been able to know where the airplane's going. They said it was for safety concerns. You know, we don't ever get to know what the governor's schedule is. We don't know if that airplane is flying around the country promoting her own personal book. You know, is it going to campaign rallies? We don't know these things.
The Government Accountability Board forwarded the investigation into whether Nome abused her power or violated state laws by using state airplanes to fly to political events to the Attorney General's office. Nome denies any wrongdoing. National Suicide Prevention Week is happening right now. In mid-July, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline 1-800 number transitioned to the 3-digit number. The Helpline Center answers 988 calls, texts, and chats.
The organization's CEO says 988 call volume is up compared to the other number. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health or substance use, call 988. That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Carstens. Brian?
All right, our weather today, well, we're featuring temperatures getting back into the 90s and a few 100s showing up. That pocket there from Phillip to Valentine, pretty hot. Mild overnight. We could easily start the day in the 70s here across portions of western and central KELOLAND. Now, there is a cold front or a frontal boundary on the move there. You can see that by 3 p.m. from, let's say, Brookings down to Mitchell and southwest from there. Now, it's going to be very hot right along and ahead of the front. Even behind it, it is still plenty hot with north winds. And, of course, fire weather watches are in effect for a big chunk of South Dakota tomorrow, just because of these winds. Now, eventually, Thursday night into Friday morning, we're going to cool the temperature. We're going to see some rain popping up. It's not going to be necessarily widespread, but let's take a look at that on Futurecast. And the best chance of rain, I would say, stretches from Rapid City and the Black Hills toward Pierre and then over to Aberdeen Friday early morning. So that's an opportunity to at least to get a little of the ground wet, and hopefully we'll see some more rain in some of these parched areas of the southeast. It's not going to be enough to be widespread, though. I will tell you that. We're not talking every corner getting rain, and it looks to me like the heaviest rain is going to set up to our south in Nebraska and Iowa on the day Saturday into Sunday. So keep that in mind if you're traveling this weekend. 100 today in winter. There's a lot of 100-degree heat for Valentine, Pine Ridge, and Phillip. Sioux Falls area not as hot, but tomorrow, look at tomorrow, 95. And we have a chance of rain coming in Friday, Saturday. A lot of that will be Friday night in Sioux Falls. A little earlier in the day for Aberdeen. Look at the difference from Thursday to Friday, from 95 to 69. That's a front, and hopefully behind that, we're not going to warm right back up. We're going to see some 80s probably at the end of the 7-day there in Pierre. This rain obviously is not going to be enough to really eliminate some of these dry patterns we've had, but we are going to pick up at least those 70s on Friday, and 60s are likely for Rapid City. Even the Black Hills, I wouldn't be shocked at all to see highs all day long in the 50s. In Custer and Hill City. Check out details online at KELOLAND.com.